Welcome everyone to the 2024 Nantucket Open Pro Day. We got a special treat for everyone featuring Matt Bell, Casey White, Paul Krans, and Harry Chace, who's in the booth with us. Yes, the guy who finished second in the Q Series finals here in the booth. Hello, Harry. How are you? And welcome back.
Raivis, as always, thank you for the invitation. Excited to be here today on the island of Nantucket. And if you watched last year's coverage, we got a good treat for you guys. Not only a special feature card, but some great weather. We have sun in the air, no rain, and a beautiful feature card. Let's see who we got.
Yeah, first up is Matt Bell coming from Oklahoma, also from the California area. He's a surfer. Casey White, he's got the Boston Bruins jersey representing Discmania. Defending champion title belt already on him. There you are, Harry. You're looking ready to go. Also representing Discmania, Sedgley Woods, and Disc Golf 978. Am I forgetting anybody?
I think you got it. And last but not least, Paul Krans here, rocking the Disc Golf 978, our favorite local shop, team MVP newly this year. And we're starting out with hole 1, par 4, dogleg to the right. We got Matt Bell kicking us off.
He's going to be throwing his Hurricane a lot on this course. It's a nice flippy hyzer flip disc, and you can see he got some good distance and in a great spot for a look for birdie on hole 1 here. This averaged 3.73, so almost a must-have, almost a must-get for you. Harry, are you licking your chops on hole 1, or do you give it some credit?
Yeah, it's a really good range of difficulty for hole 1 on this style of course. For all of us, it is definitely a birdie that we're looking to get. But it's not so easy that missing it is the end of the world.
Agreed. And some people had a little trouble on the skins match. You might want to check that out. 10,000 people have already viewed it. You should too, on our channel, only on the Greatest Media Team channel. What did you throw there, Harry? That was beautiful.
Yeah, that was my Night Strike 2 FD. A nice beat-in flat FD is my favorite type for those turnover shots. And that one is fitting the bill. Did me really well at the end of the year.
I love the flight path on that. And you really got some good distance on that, especially on hole 1 again, where we need to get you far enough where it's an easy up and down chip shot.
I got short legs.
And you can see everyone's very excited because it's not raining. Like you said, it's not pouring. My goodness, what a beautiful day we got compared to last year.
So we've got Paul here going for this turnover line with his Tempo. It's a new disc from Axiom, and playing with him throughout the end of the year, it really became his crutch. He throws that disc a lot. You're going to see it thrown a lot today.
Well, thank you for letting us know what he's throwing there. We have Matt here who's throwing it what looked like he was trying to spike over from the left side, but unfortunately never came down, and we had a hard time finding it. We'll see what happens there. Casey White's going for a similar line, but getting it inside enough where he's going to be able to get a circle 1 look.
Yeah, well done by Casey there. Go for that stretch out forehand. Trying to do the same with my MD5. Just getting it wide and letting it skip. You'll see all day these Nantucket skip shots. You really got to play for it. Aiming wide, taking that stable stuff, and yeah, they're no joke.
Working the ground play, I see. Are you going to be throwing the new C-line tactic, or are you going to stick to the MD5?
Yeah, I love my MD5, so I think the MD5 is here to stay, as we see Matt Bell having to rethrow from his previous lie. So his disc must have been stuck up in the tree somewhere. A clear disc definitely didn't help, and unfortunately that's going to be a stroke added on to going back. And speaking of a stroke, Krans definitely upset with a birdie look squandered on hole 1.
It was a bit uncomfortable to see that happen. Obviously, Matt Bell came from a long ways. Oh, top band for you. Were you just excited there?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I remember when I missed that putt, I didn't really know what I did wrong. But I was at least glad to miss high rather than low.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just see if I can correct throughout the rest of the round.
Again, Matt Bell taking the bogey. I mean, it's just so unfortunate. This average 3.73, like we mentioned, he was the 8% that bogeyed it. And Casey White taking advantage with the early birdie and lead.
Yeah, this course can be deceiving. It seems, such a vacation course, so open, but some of the rough that you'll see is pretty thick and dense. And once you get in there, it's not always the easiest to even find your disc or take a pitch out.
John Hug said he had a heck of a time building this course, one of his most difficult, challenging builds. And we're just so happy that Todd Rainwater and Nantucket Disc Golf was able to invest so much money and time and volunteerism to build such an amazing, beautiful course. I think this is one of my top 2 favorites in Massachusetts. I think it goes Maple Hill and this. That was a beautiful line there. I'm going to guess that's a FD.
FD. No, that is actually the same MD5 I flipped on hole 1. So.
You made that look too good, too smooth. That's a great shot there.
And Paul, I mean, that is really the line. Playing a little bit wider, wasn't even 25 feet from a single tree. It's really well done there.
It's just like one of my favorite shot shapes to have on a disc golf course, a simple hyzer. And actually, it's not that simple because you have to execute it to go forward and then a sharp fade at the end, which only a few discs do. And I can see you throwing the MD5 actually on that line now because I throw it on a flex line.
A lot of these shots are pretty simple, but there is danger, and there's always something that you need to do on each hole. And in this case, it's pushing it out straight enough before it goes left. And, I mean, hey, 2 touring pros here, Matt Bell, Casey White, not getting into the circle, so can't be too simple.
No, agreed. And I take back what I said there because this averaged 2.65, but like you said, 2 touring pros couldn't get through. We'll see what happens on 17, which is a very similar shot shape. So Harry, you're getting your birdie there. You weren't interrupted by any chickens this time, I see. Hopefully you found that skins match pretty funny when that happened.
Yeah, that chicken debacle was pretty hilarious. And, yeah, go check that out if you haven't already.
It was just a really fun skins match. I would hope that like having some of those matches also sort of is a good precursor and warm up to this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not just for the practice factor, but also just to get those tournament shots dialed in, kind of feel what it's like to, throw a real shot one at a time.
Good forehand there. What did you throw there?
That was the Vanguard, this year's Color Glow version, and it has become my favorite forehand disc. So if you're looking for that 9-speed overstable slot that is reliably overstable on forehand, but also pushes quite straight, I think the Vanguard is probably the best I've ever thrown for that slot.
I was talking to Andy Cochran, and he was saying how much you love that Vanguard. Wow, Casey with the ace run bid right there. We didn't have catch cam on this particular feature card, but we will have it on the lead card, so make sure to check that out when we have it for round 2. Check out this replay here, though.
Yeah, watch this. Donnie Tsunami, the S-Line FD3, that's become Casey's favorite disc for that slot I was describing. Amazing shot right there. Plays the skip perfectly.
Really was a perfect play and a perfect shot shape for this, what looks like an anti-hole 2, basically. It's the opposite of hole 2 and flipped, if you think about it.
Yeah, exactly. You got to get it straight enough, and then the skip or the fade to the right. We saw Paul here going with the backhand play. He's not going to be throwing many forehands off the tee, if any, dealing with a little bit of an injury this time of year. So we'll see how he can attack the course in some different ways.
Well, speaking of being on tour all year, we got to ask the question, are you planning to do the tour card? We saw the Q Series, you got second place, and amazing performance out there. You represented New England, Rhode Island, everybody back home. We just love seeing you out there. Tell us more on whether and what your plans are for next year.
Yeah, next year I'm effectively planning for a full tour. I think in my preliminary schedule, I'm only missing one event. So going for the full point series, trying to qualify for that DGPT finale, full touring just as much as any other guy on tour. So looking forward to it. It's going to be an adjustment for sure. And hopefully things go well. And I'm making sure they do by putting in the necessary practice and regiments and all the stuff a professional athlete's supposed to do. So see how it goes.
Oh, man. Well, we're so excited to hear that, Harry, and we're rooting for you back home and obviously wishing you the best of luck. We're going to see you at GMC. We're going to see you at MVP. We know it. You're going to make it to the playoffs. You got an amazing talent, and it's so awesome to hear another local join the Pro Tour circuit and given a chance to. Like, that is pretty awesome stuff there.
Oh, I just remembered the answer to your question. It's a DD1. We're all good.
Moving on now to hole 4. Par 4 actually played as the easiest hole for this round, coming in at 3.53. And this shot shape just lines up perfectly for my S-line DD1. That's what I was ripping there, and I would say I'm in position A.
Furthest flying backhand I think I've ever seen on this hole. Last year, I think you threw down a roller. You might have gotten further this year, and you threw it in the air.
Yeah, my DD1's really just flying good this time of year. And Casey disking down a little bit to his probably favorite disc in his bag. Would you say Skywalker 1, shout out?
Yes, shout out. And Skywalker 2. It's just so awesome that he's been able to get those 2 drops for Discmania. I personally love them. Go check it out. A nice, stable FD.
No, the same tree again.
Oh, the one tree right there after Paul lays down his signal. He's been really leaning on the roller out here in both the skins match and in our practice. So I don't think that's the last time we'll see the signal roller from Paul. But like I mentioned, easiest hole. Distance is really not super key off the tee as long as you stay in bounds. So I think we'll see Paul with a pretty routine birdie look from there.
And Matt is going to be sticking to his hurricane on this hole. Smart play, hyzer flipping to the right. Plenty of space and air without getting into trouble there. Great shot there. It's interesting because I don't remember Paul throwing any rollers the year before in our skins match or any of our features. I mean, we put out two other features. Go check that out on our channel.
Yeah, I think it had a lot to do with his forehand injury. I mean, late last year, we saw Paul have a really good stretch to finish the season and relied a lot on his forehand, power forehand specifically. So I think being on tour, there's some holes that demand that 400-foot power forehand, and he didn't have it, and he needed to score. So I think he developed a little bit of a roller game. I know once he got that signal in his hands, he was really liking it for rollers. And I think he just gained confidence throughout the season. And, hey, on a hole like this, flat ground, pretty open, not a bad choice. And he will be in the circle for birdie.
He's in a really good spot. He's been throwing that so well. Go check out that skins match. We're not lying. He knows how to throw that thing better than anyone right now. Looks like you're up there for a birdie. Look, I can't believe how far you got. Oh, my goodness. And here is Matt Bell for his birdie. Cash money, beautiful. After starting +1 and not getting the other 2 holes, 2 and 3, he is finally back to even. It's crazy that that something like that, losing a disc, can just totally knock you out of your rhythm just for a couple holes. I mean, it's just not the best start, but he's able to bounce back. Let's see if he's able to continue that.
Yeah, especially on a course like Nantucket. I mean, on a warm, calm day, this place could be go. And to start off with a bogey and losing your go-to forehand disc can't be easy. But Matt Bell is a true professional out here. He knows what he's doing. And if anyone can right the ship, it will be him.
Yeah, easily one of the best putters I've seen on tour, and I think he has the putting world champion title under his belt. Hole 5, par 5, 811 feet. What are you going to be throwing here? And is this one of your favorite par 5s ever?
This is a great par 5. Certainly one of my favorites I've played in New England. And I took my Grady Shoe PD there. I actually went PD2 in the skins match, had a much better result than that. I disced down to hopefully avoid that big reaction off the tree, and unfortunately hit it and kicked pretty far right. So I will be struggling to get a birdie from there.
Well, you just had a turkey, so let's see if you can at least save a par. And here is Paul. Do you know what he's throwing there? Because that was really, really good.
Yeah, I believe that's his Fireball. Overstable.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
overstable 9-speed slot that he's been leaning on. And you can see that ground action at the end go skip, skip, skip all the way left.
Beautiful shots here. Look at this. Just the perfect height and perfect angles from all of you. You just got a bad kick. How did you get in there? That's insane.
Yeah, trying to save it with this Essence roller. And honestly did pretty good from there.
Love the Essence play. Are you only throwing it on a roller, or are you able to throw at least an air shot with it?
I'm definitely able to throw an air shot with it, but I do not throw regular air shots with it. Maybe the occasional crazy turnover in the woods, but I would guess I probably didn't throw any air shots with it this year.
It's good to know, just to see what, a power thrower like you, what kind of slot and utility it might need it for. And here is another roller. This one is coming from Matt Bell, and he's in a great spot. I mean, just to get past that grouping on this hole is a look for birdie and maybe even eagle, depending where exactly you land. Paul's definitely going roller, or excuse me, he went that Fireball, and now he's going to the signal again. Here we go.
That's right. That angle looks pretty good, curling at the right time. And Paul Krans, what a shot there from the roller. He'll be putting for sure.
Ooh, what a reaction there. What was that?
Yeah, I hit that center tree that you can see, and I figured I would just aim right at it and hopefully miss it. And if I did, I probably would have been in the circle, but I caught the left end of it and luckily still kicked forward rather than just hitting it and stopping. But yeah, that will ruin my birdie chance on what places a pretty simple hole if you can dial it up right.
Simple for anybody that can throw 500 for sure. It's you try to put an MA2 player on this hole, oh my God, they're going to struggle. They're absolutely going to struggle. Let's see if Paul can get the eagle. He missed it during the skins match, but he said, you know what? I'll get it this time. We always see eagles on this hole, I swear. Whether it's the skins or the feature card or lead card, it is awesome to see. Boom.
Wow. Beautiful form and extension on that putt. Hits it right in the center. That is a much-needed eagle for Krans. And, not the fastest start for him, but he's right back to a really good pace with that eagle there. 4 down through 5.
What is he putting with? Do you know?
Yeah, he putts with the new Pixel. Modeled a lot of his game after Simon. Putted with the P1X with this Mania, as Simon tended to do for a little bit. And soon as Simon made the switch to MVP and had the Pixel, Krans picked that up right away. I don't think he looked back.
Wow. Well, we're happy to see him have the success he has had, and he won a couple A-tiers, I think, this past year as well, keeping that streak. Here's hole 6 from a catch cam angle, 799 feet. This is the second par 5 that you're going to be playing out of the 3. Paul kind of yanks it to the right. I don't think he made it to the fairway. I think he might be in the woods there.
Yeah, it's an easy thing to do. This gap is kind of staggered, and you need to throw a bit of a pushing hyzer. And when you do that from the righty perspective, you need to get that flip point and aim point perfect. So Little off there. Certainly better to miss right than miss left in this scenario. So we'll see what he has from there.
Coming right over my head, Matt Bell with the absolute rope, matching Casey White pin high. I mean, they're both in a great spot. You're throwing on a white disc. I'm going to say this is a DD3.
Correct, Raivis. You got this one right. Cloudbreaker 3 here. And going to be pushing a little straight. Didn't get that same hyzer finish that Matt got, but getting up there on the fairway. This being a sub 800-foot par 5. Should be in business there for a birdie.
Is the secret to keep it kind of low? I noticed that you didn't put it as high as maybe some of the other players.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like you saw Matt's get a little bit higher, but also get that finish right at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So it can kind of depend on the shot, but I will say keeping it low and penetrating is usually beneficial, and especially with the skips you can get out here for that extra distance, can't hurt.
Yeah, you know what Casey was throwing there? Probably a Skywalker, right?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. It's too hard to see. It looked pretty stable, and I think fortunate to be on the edge. Matt's disc there is in one of the roughest areas of the course. And yeah, I mean, I can't imagine if this rough used to be in these areas that are now fairways. So yeah, kudos to Houck and his crew. He does it like no one other.
It really reminds me of like a W.R. Jackson in on an island. It's just gives you that player routes, choose your own adventure style, has that turkey alley, really signature touches that he has. And I really admire.
All right, let's just try this.
And here's Casey looking for his third shot for this par 5. Hopefully he can get up and down to the circle to get that birdie look. Let's see what he does here. That looks like a Splicer FD3, something very stable. Good choice there.
Yep, that's that dyed S-Line FD3, and plays percentages and gets a win there. Great shot from Casey.
Mm-hmm. So you played a lot of tournaments this year. What was your favorite tournament that you played and most memorable?
I mean, when you asked that question, main stage was the first one that pops to mind. Obviously, the win makes a pretty lasting impression, a pretty good memory on that. But man, Maine that time of year is just special, and Highland Farms is one of my favorite courses to compete on. So,
Okay.
really loved being able to win, especially there.
What was it like to beat some of those top touring pros? You know, what's his name? James Proctor, that was coming through clutch right at the end, and he's the one that just won MVP like the week after you beat him. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah, I know. I mean, especially being pretty close to MV or Maple Hill, I certainly one take right there.
That was great.
And caught it. Wow.
Smooth.
That might be the highlight of the round.
Harvey Chance is back, folks.
But yeah, about Maine States, everyone brings up the Proctor thing, but funny enough, I never actually played with him that round because he was on Chace card and shot that
right.
fire 1082 rated round, I believe. And then honestly, after I didn't see him either. So, I definitely felt the pressure from James. I've respected his game for a long time, but yeah, who knows? It might have been different if he was on my card, but we will never know.
Well, we'll have to get you guys playing together sometime, somewhere again, and film that, because that is some epic stuff. Maybe at the Bro or Main States again next year. You never know.
Yeah, you alluded to this Turkey Alley earlier, and this is the first hole of it, just 178, looking straight at it. I mean, take your putter, throw it straight. Pretty simple ask on this hole.
It's simple, and then it can get into your head. Now, if there's wind, it can even turn into 10 times harder. And it's a funny hole because I always see Casey somehow putting in the woods over there. I know he's going to be in the woods again.
Yeah, disappointing par there for Krans, I'm sure. And we got Matt Bell, edge of circle.
One of the best putters I know. He has a signature blend Penrose EV7. If anybody wants to check out his custom signature blend and putt like him, go check out and support your boy, because that was a really good putt. Let's see if Casey can get freaky on this one again. I'm telling you, something about this hole and Casey that he hits it every time from whatever position he is. He could be under brush, in the brush, anywhere.
Yeah, great putt there. In the woods, like you mentioned. And, yeah, I mean, Casey's kind of got that scrappy factor to him. So a little bit off in the woods, straddle out, no problem.
And that hole averaged 2.65. This hole averaged 2.7. Let's see how Casey handles this shot.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Oh my gosh, he almost aces it. That's two medal hits in the front nine, folks, for Casey.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, unbelievable. C-line tactic there from Casey. I mean, I remember telling him during the round, his forehand is just really dialed right now.
Yeah.
Just coming out on that flat release with a stable disc, and he's just placing it where he wants.
And that was your P3X?
P2 right there. That
P2,
is
the Sky God, yes.
Sky God 4. And, yeah, that one became a really big one towards the end of the year, especially at Olympus.
We were seeing that being brought out a couple holes, and we knew that was going to be part. It was talking about dial. You were very dialed at Olympus. Was there anything going on in your head? Like, I know it came down to you losing by one stroke, but any thoughts about what happened?
Yeah, I mean, the layout that we were playing was not actually the chess.com layout. It was a modified version of the FPO layout from chess.com 2024. So very scoreable, especially the par fours. A lot of short par fours. There was honestly a stretch of 4 holes that were all reasonably eagleable. And, getting a birdie just kind of felt like, if you were playing well and throwing far, kind of just a concession. So very scoreable. It really came down to some of the tough bonus par threes. And, really going down there, I had 2 goals. 1 to get a tour card, and 2 to just get on that live coverage and kind of introduce myself to people. And happy to shoot the hot round day 3. And, yeah, hopefully a few more people know the name Harry Chace.
I think they do, Harry. I think a lot of people do. And I've been speaking to some of the touring pros, and I was talking to Micah actually a week before he beat you at the Jacksonville Open, or maybe 2 weeks before Open, and he said, Harry's such a good competitor. He had a lot of great things to say about you, and it's so crazy that it came down to you two in that tournament, because I know you guys very well. Well, I know you very well compared to him, but having played a few rounds with Micah, it was just cool to see that his talent and your talent and what you guys have and your skill sets, and your ceilings are not even finished. I mean, you guys have a lot more to go. It's just awesome to see, and the future is bright for the tour.
Absolutely. And yeah, if you haven't seen that, hats off to Micah, Q Series champion, and looking to have another successful year on tour next year.
Here we go. Moving on to hole 9. We saw Casey almost get another ace. Like, what's going on? And here's Matt Bell, forehand for him, 282 feet. This is sort of a must-get. Again, that Turkey Alley, this is the third of the 3 holes that most players are licking their chops. You guys are already getting your hole 8 on and hole 7 on. Let's see how many can get hole 9 here.
Yeah, we saw 2 forehands from the card and 2 backhands. Krans leaked his a little left, but still has a open look.
Great putt there. Smooth, dialed. Watch out, folks. He's catching up to you guys. -5. Sneaky.
Yeah, and that Turkey Alley, as you mentioned,
You can go ahead. if you
Krans
want
actually
to.
missed hole 7 and hole 8. So needed this one to at least grab a 1 under for that stretch, and doing it with a long putt there. Well done.
Whoa, sneaking it in there, Matt Bell.
Oh yeah, that point to the camera lets you know everything about that.
So you had a
Hey.
bogey and you had you had 2 pars and the rest birdies. How do you feel about that round? That's pretty good, Harry.
Yeah, went 3 for 3 on the Turkey Alley. Started a little bit slow with that putt on 1 and missing 5, but hey, 7 down through 9, always good. And we got Casey White on the card, who shot an 8 under. So still work to be had. Hopefully the two of us can continue our success and provide some entertainment for the back 9.
8 down through 9. I mean, that is some dreamy stuff at Nantucket. That on pace for a record-breaking round. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Make sure to stick around for the back 9. Harry, thanks for being here.
We've got it. GMT signing off.